A typical day would be me coming in before 9 o'clock, getting set up in the tin shop, talking to the visitors, working on my current projects, doing a lot of talking and getting the visitors involved in guessing what some of the items in the tin shop are, because they're still made, but they don't look the same today, like the nursing bottle or a hearing aid, but there's even more than that. Sometimes I help out with other events here, like Cookie Bake, which is in November or December, so we can have decorations for the Christmas tree in the windows in the tin shop, the upside down Christmas tree. The special events, I usually come out for them because they're really fun. There's always a lot of people here, especially harvest days. And I get to see the people walk out with their scarecrows that they made and things like that. Oh my gosh, a challenging moment. Oh, well, sometimes I get stuck on my tin projects and I forget how they go together. And then I have to call a friend, or I have to scratch my head and go, how did Smitty do it? Smitty's the man who taught me. One of my best moments here was getting invited to make ornaments for the White House Christmas tree in 1999. That's probably my big highlight of the year. What's inspired me the most is coming out and meeting all the people. There's just a diverse bunch of people here that do all different things, and that's exciting to see something different that I don't do, that somebody else does. And there's always, big events, there's always people that don't work here. They just come out for the events. Well, the thing I guess that affected me the most is it gives me something to do on my days off when I was working, which now I'm retired, but I still look forward to coming out here. With the COVID virus, I felt like a void in my life was missing, because I get excited to come out here and do stuff. Oh, boy, that's a good question. What matters the most to me? I think over the 20-some years that I've been working here, I've been more excited to come to see the people that come here, because they bring with them answers and questions, and they fill in the blanks, and they're fun. It just is really fun. I mean, I don't have to do this. I had a good job, and I like to come out here. It's just too much fun. All the animals, the people, and it's always something new. You never know who you're going to see or what they're going to tell you. It's not only do I benefit them, they benefit us. Well, first of all, they learn there's a museum here, because this is the best kept secret for years. Because when I came, it was still kind of a secret. And then slowly the bus groups got on the tours, and it's like I got to see people from all over the world. I mean, there's people that come here from Europe and China and Japan and all over the place. And, some people knew what some of the things were, but most of them didn't. So that's fun. I would tell them if they would volunteer here, they would take away so much that they didn't know, and it would benefit them as they grow older. They may not believe it, but they will learn. I mean, they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, they're wrong. Well, the reason I started volunteering is because Mr. Smith, the man who was teaching me tinsmithing at his home, worked out here on Fridays and Saturdays, and he could never teach me at his house then because he worked at Landis Valley, and I did not know what Landis Valley was. I don't live in this area. I lived up in the Harrisburg area. And so I came out here to investigate it one winter, and there was nothing going on except maybe tours. And I wanted to take pictures of the tin shop to make him a calendar for Christmas. And then in the spring, I came back and he was working, and some visitors were coming in. He goes, go get that chair back there and bring it up here and sit and wait until they leave and we'll talk some more. Well, he's so interesting. He played with the kids and he talked to the people, and he's very knowledgeable about what he did. And I thought, this is really fun. And I looked around and there was room in there. I thought, well, maybe I could help him. I mean, the man was in his 80s, late 80s, and he was bringing a station wagon with boxes of tools and hand tools and rotary machines and baskets with tinware for the gift shop to sell or repair work. And I asked him, I said, would they let me come out here and help you? And he goes, let me ask. And he did. And they said yes. And then after a while, they hired me for Sundays. And he passed away at 95, and I just kind of took over. I was working 3 days a week until the COVID virus. So that's what happened with me. It's always fun to do a new project. And one of my main things that I do is Christmas ornaments. So I'm always trying to make a new Christmas ornament that I have never made before. Something made out of the tin plate. And sometimes that's very challenging. And I also copy old things like icicles and the old Christmas ornaments that were sold here that originally came from Germany, but I've developed some of my own patterns too. And it's always fun developing a new pattern. Right now I'm working on a miniature reflector oven called a tin kitchen, and this one's only about 2 inches wide. It's a challenge to do miniatures, and not everybody will do them. Not everybody will do cookie cutters. I love cookie cutters. There's so many patterns and so many ideas you can do with a cookie cutter. And I know people think, oh, it's just a stupid thing, but it's not. It has some work and thought behind it, because you can't always do a cookie cutter like you'd want to. Like if you want to do a horse, you can't have those skinny little legs there. They will break off. So you have to work around it or fatten up the legs or make it so it leaves the impression of the legs, but the cookie's bigger than the horse. So that's always fun, and it's a challenge sometimes. Oh my gosh, my lifelong experience in mastering my craft. I'm always learning. It never stops. It just goes on and on and on. You just constantly are trying to figure out how to do something you may have never done before. So I'm always up for a challenge. First, you get an idea, whether one I come up with myself or a customer does. And then I have to draw it up on paper, try to work out the patterns. I mean, it's trial and error, because sometimes I forget parts. Just like with the tin kitchen, I forgot there was a wire going in on the edges, and I forgot about it when I made my original pattern. So I just had to add on to that and incorporate it in it. I mean, it's still a work in progress, this tin kitchen. It's still in pieces, but I'm about ready to get out the soldering iron and start soldering it. It was a little too warm. I don't like it when it gets too hot to solder. And, oh, well, I'll be happy when it comes together. Actually, I'm making two, one for her and one for me. Yeah, mine has some boo-boos in it, but it's okay. The old tinsmiths had boo-boos in the things they made. When we look at the old pieces, you see solder all over the place, because they didn't have soldering irons like we do. They had the things that went in a fire, in a coke or charcoal stove, that they had to heat up and work with. Electric soldering irons are a little easier than that, and they're smaller most of the time. I'm hoping to find a student that wants to stick with it and take over for me. There's not too many people in the trade. Most of us are my age or older, and the older ones are disappearing, and the younger kids are not getting into this. And I had students here from the technical school in Lancaster. I forget the name of it. You know what it is. And I used to get one every summer, and they'd spend like 6 weeks with me or something, because that was part of their work ethic, that they had to find a job when the school was closed over the summer. And I had one student that he was really interested in it, but he got married and moved away, and I don't know if he bought any tools or not. And just the other day, a tinsmith came, and he's trying to sell his shop. He's retired. They'll be burying me with my tools because I ain't giving them up too easy, and I don't, I'll just work as long as I can.